Good morning, students. Today we will learn our new chapter of science, that is light. This chapter is very important. You have to learn this chapter in your higher classes as well in very detail. So here we will discuss in our 7th standard some basic points of that chapter. Basic points related to light. So which points we have to cover in this year? Rectilinear propagation of light. What is meant by rectilinear? Means straight way. Rectilinear matlab straight way. Path is straight. That is called rectilinear propagation. Okay. So second point we have to study reflection of light through plane mirror and spherical mirrors. Third one, reflection of light through convex lens and concave lens. And after that we have to learn composition of white light. These points we have to cover in this lesson. Okay. So what is meant by light? Light is the form of energy. Light is a form of energy. Here I have written that point. Light is a form of energy. And what is the property of light? Light always travel in straight line. Means it propagate through rectilinear path. It propagate through rectilinear path. मतलब वो सीधे और straight line में ही travel करता है. That property of light is called rectilinear propagation. Light never travel through the bent path. Okay, it is always rectilinear propagation. So light is, what is light? It is a energy. It is a form of energy. And from where we get that energy? Light energy from the luminous source. From the luminous source. So which sources are known as luminous bodies? Which bodies are known as luminous bodies? The bodies which emit light themselves, they are known as luminous bodies. And the bodies which don't emit light, they are known as non-luminous bodies. So we know that sun, stars, they emit light, so that they are known as luminous bodies. And moon, though the moon is looking like luminous, but still it don't emit light itself. Moon never emit light itself. It get light from the sun, and then we can see the shiny moon. Okay, so it is also, moon is also non-luminous body. Our light, street light, and that light of cars, and everywhere which lights we are using, all that are lights and that are non-luminous bodies. But the sunlight is coming from, emitting from sun. That's why the sun is luminous. Sun is having luminous body. Sun is itself luminous body because it itself emit the light. So we can see sun is luminous and that light is also luminous, but still it's not having its own emission, but sun is having its own emission of light. Okay, so this thing we have to understand. So here we can do the activity. You know that in 6th standard also we have performed that activity. So light never propagate through the bent part. It always propagates through the rectilinear path. मतलब वो सीधा straight way से ही, straight path से ही travel करता है. So make a pipe, take a pipe, yes, and see the candle through that straight pipe. We can see very easily. But if we will bend the pipe, whether it is of paper also, if we bend that pipe, then we can't see the candle, because light only propagate through the straight line, or it is having rectilinear path. It propagate through the rectilinear path. यहाँ पर बेंड किया है पाइप को, तो वो पाथ चेंज हो गया, तो लाइट तो अपना पाथ चेंज नहीं कर रहा है ना. Light never change its path. It's always travel in rectilinear path, so that we are not able to see the object, that is candle here, through that bent pipe. Okay, so this is your activity to prove that light travel through the straight line. This is another activity you can also perform by the 3 cards having holes at different height. through that activity also we can understand light travel through the straight path. So how you can do that? It is written here, you can understand that. Yes, and do that activities at your home also, you can do that. So next is we have to learn here what is mean by incident ray and what is mean by reflected ray. Incidence and reflection we will discuss here. So for that we have to first understand the types of mirror. So we know that mirror and glass, through that mirror light get reflected. How is the mirror? What is the mirror? Mirror is that object, it's having one surface shiny and another surface rough. So always light get reflected from the plane or smooth surface. Any plane and smooth surface can reflect the light. This is the steel plate. From that plate also light can get reflected. As each and every polished or smooth and shiny surface is able to reflect the light. Reflection मतलब क्या होता है? Bouncing back the light. Here we can see. Suppose the light is falling here. Here the light is falling and it get totally bounced. मतलब वो backward उसका turn हुआ है. That process is known as, that phenomena is known as reflection. This is the incident ray, means that is falling on the surface. The light when falling on the surface, it is known as incident ray. And when from that surface that light get bounced back in the same plane, then this ray is known as reflected ray. Plane means partition, beyond the partition one plane, beyond the partition another plane. Yes, here also we can see, if my hand is here, beyond this hand it is another plane, and here is also one plane. In that side of my hand it is one plane, and beyond this hand another plane. So mirror, if I have taken mirror, so here is the one plane this side, and from another side this is the another plane. So reflection is happen in the same plane. समझ में आया? ये तो रूल है उसका. So here also we can see the reflection happened due to the smooth and shiny surface. It is mirror. By the mirror also the light get reflected. That from the source light is falling on that mirror. See that yellow light is falling on that surface of the mirror, shiny surface of the mirror, and from that shiny surface it directly get reflected. It get bounced from the plane surface, but in the same plane, at the same side. So this is the reflection. This is known as reflection. Here also cover of steel plate. If we will take the steel plate, same type of reflection happen here. But if we will take the paper or any dull surface or rough surface, we are not able to get the reflection. Here we can see very clearly. When the light fall on the paper, on the wood, what happen? It will not get reflected. Why? Because the surface or the appeared surface is not plain here or not shiny. Means for the reflection, what is the condition? For the reflection, it is the most important condition. The surface at which the light waves are coming, that surface should be polished or shiny. मतलब जहाँ पर ये light rays आ रहे हैं, on which the light rays are falling, मतलब जहाँ पर वो light rays falling हो रहे, मतलब आ रहे हैं, वो surface कैसे होना चाहिए? Shiny होना चाहिए. It should not be dull as like paper, wood and soil. Okay? So this is the condition. So we will learn after that types of mirror and what is the reflection and what is the laws of reflection. That also we will discuss here. So we know that mirror are able to reflect the light, but there are three types of mirror. Three types of mirror, which are that? Major types are plane mirror and curved mirror. Plane mirror and curved mirror. Plane mirror we know that very well, we use that every day, and curved mirror also we use, but curved mirror are also two type there, that are convex mirror and concave mirror. So what is mean by convex mirror? Convex mirror is turned outside and concave mirror is turned inward. Okay, we will discuss in detail and how the images form by that curved and plane mirror, that also we will discuss here in detail. First of all, we will discuss here reflection. We will discuss here reflection. So for that, see that diagram. In this diagram we can see very clearly here mirror is taken. How the mirror is denoted? Every mirror is having at one side shiny surface and another side is dull surface. Yes, उसका एक जो पार्ट है मिरर का, एक साइड जो है वो शाइनी रहती है और दूसरी साइड रहती है वो क्या रहती है? डल रहती है ना. तो ये डल सरफेस और रफ सरफेस, ये रफ है, रफ सरफेस ऐसे डिनोट करते ये स्लैंटिंग लाइन से, और दिस इज द शाइनी सरफेस ऑफ मिरर और स्मूथ सरफेस ऑफ मिरर. सो व्हेन द लाइट फॉल ऑन द shiny surface, this falling ray is known as incident ray. This ray is known as incident ray, which is falling on the shiny surface, and after falling on that shiny surface it get reflected, means it get rebounced back. It get rebounced back here, and this ray is known as, which is get reflected, which get rebounced, that ray is known as reflected ray. Understood? ये क्या है? reflected ray. And this line is known as normal. What is normal? It is nothing but perpendicular drawn on the smooth surface of the mirror. Perpendicular drawn on the smooth surface of the mirror. This is known as normal. तो ये perpendicular है, ये perpendicular, this is the perpendicular here, and it is perpendicular to the mirror, surface of the mirror, and this perpendicular is known as normal. It is denoted as N, and this incident ray is known as which is the falling on the surface, and rebounced ray is known as reflected ray. And here one thing is more, the angle is created by the incident ray to the normal, and angle is created by the incident ray to the normal. This angle is called as I. This angle is denoted as by I, and the angle created by reflected ray to the normal, angle created by reflected ray to the normal is known as angle of reflection. Angle of reflection, it is denoted by R. So what is mean by angle of incidence? The angle created by incident ray, the angle created by incident ray to the normal is known as angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. It is denoted by I. And what is mean by reflected ray? Angle of reflection. Sorry, what is mean by angle of reflection? That we will see here the definition. The angle created by reflected ray. Angle created by reflected ray to the normal, it is known as angle of reflection, and it is denoted by R. And all that incident ray, reflected ray and normal, all that three things lie in the same plane. In the same plane means it lie at the same side of the mirror. मतलब ये मिरर के एक ही साइड में ये तीनों भी चीजें होती है. कौन सी? इंसिडेंट रेज, नॉर्मल रे, सॉरी इंसिडेंट रेज, रिफ्लेक्टेड रेज एंड नॉर्मल एक ही होता है जो कि परपेंडिकुलर होता है. ये तीनों भी चीजें मिरर के एक ही साइड में होती है. सो फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ of reflection that we will see. First law is incident ray, reflected ray and normal lie in the same plane. And which is the second law? Angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Is equal to angle of reflection. Means measure of angle of incidence always equal to measure of angle of reflection. So this is the second law. It is very much important. First is all that incident ray, reflected ray and normal lie in the same plane. So these are the laws of reflection. So that here clearly given. This is the diagram of reflection. This is the incident ray. This is the angle of incidence, angle of reflection. N is the normal perpendicular to the reflective surface. मतलब smooth surface जो होता है उसको perpendicular होता है उसे normal बोलते हैं. Then I is the angle of incidence, R is the angle of reflection, and what is the law? Measure of angle of incidence is equal to measure of angle of reflection. Always it is. So what is the angle of incidence? The angle created by incident ray to the normal, that is I. This angle is known as angle of incidence. And the angle of reflection means the angle created by reflected rays to the normal is known as angle of reflection. Angle of reflection. Understand? What is the angle of incidence? Incident angle. That also we will discuss. Angle of incidence. Angle created by incident ray to the normal is known as I. And angle of reflection. The angle created by the reflected ray to the normal is known as R. That is angle of reflection. Okay. So reflected ray क्या है? The ray bounced back from the smooth surface of mirror in the same plane. In the same plane, that is the reflected ray. So law of reflection, two laws are there. First is incident rays, reflecting rays and normal, and also normal lie in the same plane. Incident rays, reflected rays and normal lie in the same plane. Then the angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. Is always equal to angle of reflection, and that is measure of angle of I is equal to measure of angle of R. Okay. So this was about the angle of incidence and what is meant by incidence ray, the definition of this, and angle of reflection and what is meant by reflected ray, that is given here. Okay. So you can take a screenshot of that and write down in your notebook. Laws of reflection also you have to write down. Okay. So this was about the reflection. So next we will discuss about the images formed by mirrors, types of mirrors that we will discuss.